Well, so now on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we had talked about in the previous podcast, now you have the Democrats and now the Republicans starting to try to get the black vote, which is good. That put us in a very, very good position as a people, because now we could say we want a tangible, and we can say that to both sides and see which one going to give us a particular tangible. Now, we're going to go back to that speech that Donald Trump did at the Black Conservative Fund. And Donald Trump is going to home in on something that's been repeated a lot here. Even rank and file Democrats are going to repeat what Trump has said here, right? It's just not going to be nothing new. But I want to home in on this for a good reason. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Message to the black community in this election will be a very simple one. If you want strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. Joe Biden and the radical left have abandoned everything black Americans care about. They've really let you down. Look, we all understand it. They've thrown black Americans overboard, and it's been not a pretty thing to watch. You take a look at some of these inner cities, but I and the Republican Party will fight for the black community like you have never had anybody fight for you before. And with me, you will never be taken for granted. You will never be taken for granted. They've taken you for granted. Do you ever notice they always come around about 2 months before an election? Then they get your votes, and then they go on and, 4 years later, they come and say hello, or 2 years, depending on what office we're talking about. But they come back and they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing until it's election time. Then they come in, they seek your vote. The future we want is one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to have.
So that's Donald Trump's appeal, to the black community. Now, let's kind of break some of that down. He mentioned strong borders. Is Joe Biden promising strong borders for black Americans? How many of you right now that could be listening to me in Chicago, you would like a strong border, right? President Biden has opened up the floodgates and let everybody in that want to come in from all over the world, like a free for all. And now they are in your city, taking your schools, taking your parks, your field parks, taking shelters, while people in Chicago, people in New York are not being put into these shelters. They're committing crimes that you could never get away with, because if you commit a crime, they will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. But if they commit a crime, it's, handling with kid gloves. Now they're committing heinous crimes. You just had a migrant end up taking the life of a young white woman that was going to college. And it's all over the news now. It's all over the news. Well, I will say this. When you go and vote for Democrats and Joe Biden, they have an open border policy. That's what you get. The migrants are committing all kind of crimes, home invasions. I don't know about some of you, but I would like a particularly strong border. I would like the border on my state, Texas, to personally be closed. I think we got enough. We need to feed the people here. We need to deal with the people in this country. The people in this country need jobs. The people in this country need opportunities. We got enough people. We do not need to be taking on no more. I think it's other countries throughout the world that can take on people. They got a lot of land and a lot of opportunities for other people to go to. Everybody don't have to come to the United States, or, hey, you can ship them to the border of Canada. They can go up there if they want to. That's how I feel about it. Or you want to come here? Nope. You on a plane ride right to the border of Canada. That's where you're going, because you're not staying here. You understand what I'm saying? We got enough. We full already. So I think the black communities in Denver, Boston, etc., would not want all these migrants coming in. And if you go vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats, that's what you're going to get, period, right? Black people want jobs. A lot of black people are unemployed. The Biden administration has not been good for the employment of black Americans. We have to just call that what it is, right? They say the economy, in which the economists just came out and talked about this when Biden was running around talking about the economy is great. Oh, the jobs went up. Well, what they're not telling you is, yes, jobs went up, But what they're not telling you is one individual is working 2 and 3 jobs. So by the numbers, it looked like, hey, man, we more jobs. We created more jobs. No, you have people who can't make it on one job having to work 2 and 3 jobs in this Biden economy. Look at the inflation in the Biden economy. It's out of control. Say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar bill, y'all. That's it. That's what it's about. All the Democrats really offer us as a black community is racism. Let's talk about racism. Let's talk about LGBT. Let's talk about gender identity. You understand? Let's talk about abortion. That's what the Democrats are offering. That. And none of that gets to the dollar bill, y'all. None of it do. None of it pays a light bill. None of it pays a mortgage or a rent. A lot of you having your rent keep going up, and Biden and them haven't said nothing about it, and they're supposed to be the party of regulation. That's the thing. They are the party of regulation, and notice they're not putting a single regulation about all these rents going up. You having to work 2 and 3 jobs. When prior to Biden getting in office, you didn't have to do that. Your 401k was up. Everything was up for you. You were saving money. You was doing good. You was taking vacations. And Biden get in office and start spending money on Ukraine when they should have been spending money right here with the citizens of the United States of America. He takes money and he gives it to the migrants. Do you know in New York that they are, I just got an email about this, that this one particular hotel in New York that has 1,000 rooms, they're charging up to $1 million a month for the migrants to be there. $1 million a month. Who's paying that? The taxpayers of New York. That's who's paying it. But you can't get anything but the migrants, and they still keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And they're getting into crimes and they doing everything, right? In these Democrat strongholds. But some black people, and I saw you in my last live stream on African diaspora, some black people still will be talking about Democrats and with the Republicans. I promise you Republicans won't allow that. I'm not saying they're perfect. Oh, no, Lord. But I'm with the Republicans on the immigration issue. I'm with them on that 100%. I'm with them on the idea of taxes. I'm with them on the idea of regulations and open market. I'm with them on that, right? I'm not with them on no racism, that's for sure. And that's what keep a lot of black people away from that party. In order for that party to survive, it's going to have to overhaul itself and get rid of the people in there who are the racists. It's just bottom line. But as I said before, especially as men, we've worked with racists every day. We got racist supervisors. We got racist, coworkers. We go do our job. They say, hey, as long as you don't call me the N-word, put a hand on me, or do something that I can know he's discriminating against me. In other words, like making me do all the hard work while the folks sit around watching me doing it. As long as he ain't doing me nothing like that, it is what it is. I don't like him. He ain't got to like me. I'm coming here to get my bag. And see, that's the difference with especially a lot of black men, is that we understand it's about the bottom line at the end of the day. Man, forget all that other mess. Listen, talking about all that mess that Biden and them be talking about, that's luxuries. Remember during the pandemic, all that luxury mess went out the window. At the end of the day, it was about what? The money. How much money you got to make, how much money coming in, everything shut down. You understand? If we were shut down like that once, it can happen again. It can happen again. Are you fortified enough financially to be okay if another shutdown was to happen in this country or throughout the world? The world shut down again, because it could happen again. You need to be fortified enough, and people that worry about all that little extra mess that I was talking about earlier, the Democrats, the LGBT, gender identity. You talking about racism all day. And the reason why I don't want to hear about racism from the Democrats no more is because they don't do nothing about it. Racism is very important to me as a black man, sure, but Democrats don't do nothing about racism when they're in office. So I just don't want to hear them talk about racism anymore. I just don't. We as a black community will talk about racism and deal with those issues as they definitely come up. But they're using racism to get votes. And I don't like that. They're playing on my people's hurt and pain and history, while in their liberal strongholds of New York, they do nothing for black people. Trump is touched on, which everybody knows. Listen, if Trump is talking about it, then everybody's talking about it for sure. How the Democrat Party has just cast black America to the side, or as Trump has said, throw us overboard, right? Everybody see it, except some of you. Some of you black American people still don't see that the Democrats treat you like a piece of crap. You don't see it. And my issue with people like you is that you will continue to go vote Democrat and hurt the black community. I'd rather you choose the couch. You ain't got to vote for Trump. I've been saying that. You don't have to vote for Trump. Vote for the couch. That's fine. Just don't give no Democrats. Don't reward the Democrat Party with your vote, because if you reward the Democrat Party with your vote, then you're going to get more migrants coming to your city. You're going to have more programs for everybody else except you. You're going to have more money going to Ukraine and everybody else. And I'm going to tell, I told y'all, you go out there and put Biden back in office, then I promise you, all you who complain on my podcast, oh, why you talking about the Democrats? I'm not going to be saying a word about the Democrats at that point. I promise you I'm not. I'm going to be talking about you, not them, you. And you know what I'm going to say about you? Stop complaining. I don't want to hear a single complaint on any of you, because you went out there and voted for that. Don't complain about the migrants. Don't complain about this. Don't complain about that. I don't want to hear you complain about anything, because you voted for it now. I told you, you got a pass in 2020 with me. But 2024, you know better. You know better. You had a good 3, almost 4 years of Biden. You got to see what he was going to do. And now, since you know what he's doing, I'm warning y'all. I'd rather not have to do that. But I will be a thorn on the community side with that Democrat Party, because, like I said in my podcast last on African diaspora, y'all participate in your own oppression. You participate in it. It's just not the boule. It's just not the black preacher. It's you too. Some of you don't want to have a mind of your own, because you want to live whatever the black preacher tell you, you're going to do whatever the boule tell you you're going to do, instead of thinking for your doggone self. And look at that portion. You know it's crazy when someone talks down on you for saying think for yourself. What is wrong with you having independent thought of outside of what somebody tell you, especially when you say, wait a minute, this is not right. This is not even working. What am I doing? Once again, there are people that are paid in the black community to keep you as a permanent underclass. They not going to live a permanent underclass, but you will. They're paid good money, big checks, to keep you right where you're at. And you want to complain, and you're going to say nothing's being done for you, and you're going to say the migrants, and you're going to say other groups, and them same migrants are coming to this country, and in the next election, they'll be past you. They'll be homeowners, business owners. They'll be in good schools while you still complaining and in the same position that you were when the migrants first got in here. I promise you that. Put Biden back in there. Them same migrants going to be ahead of you by the next election. And I wouldn't be mad at the migrants at that point, because you helped them get there by going vote for Biden. You. We can't just, it's the system, because we love to say the system. Yeah, the system, but you participate in the system too. The system's not doing everything by itself. You're participating in the system to oppress us, because every time that we get on code on something, we win. We win every time. I see it. We win. But a lot of you don't want to unify and push our community forward. A lot of you are lazy. And I'm not talking about work-wise. I'm talking about lazy in the sense of wanting to push the community forward. You're lazy. You don't want to do anything. You want everybody to come pick you up. You want people in the community to give you something. This is why you're the type of person that always say, what's the solution? What's the solution? Yeah, I hear you, but what's the solution? You're lazy. That's what it is. Only the lazy people say that. You're lazy because you can't hear information enough to go create a solution for yourself. Why do I need to be telling somebody who's telling me and diagnosing a problem? And if I fit that particular issue, I can't think for myself enough to come up with a solution that's going to work. I can't do that. I need somebody else to do that. Like a child. Do you know, like my own child, my 9-year-old and even my 4-year-old grandson, they can come up with solutions a lot quicker than some of you in the comment section. Children. When my little girl come in here, hey, daddy, what is this? What this mean? And whatever I say, hey, go look it up. Go to Google, go here, go there, go, and you come back and tell me. I teach my little girl to not depend on me for everything when it comes to figuring things out. I'm not trying to handicap her where she can't think for herself, because I'm not going to be here forever in the earth. She gonna have to be on her own, right? She can't come to me for everything or come to somebody else for everything. Nobody around me can't just be mindless. You couldn't work with me and be mindless. I tell them all, if I got to tell you every single thing to do, if I got to tell you single thing what to say, I can't have you here, because you're slowing me down on doing other things that I need to do to even help the whole company. So no, I need people that can think for themselves. Come to me when it's an issue. Then I'll get involved with that, no problem. But on the day-to-day operations, you need to think for yourself. Stop being afraid of thinking for yourself. Nobody gonna hold your hand like a child. People don't have time for that because they got to figure out things on their own, in their own communities, in their own lives. They got to figure that stuff out. Some of you lazy because you don't want to put in the work in the black community. And I'm not even saying you got to go work like all day in the sun or whatever. Sometimes the work is political. You can just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to vote a certain way. I'm not going to vote a certain way. Maybe I could donate money here or there. It's a lot of things that you can do. You don't even have to physically do a freaking thing. And some of you don't even want to do that. But you always got your mouth poked out, complaining on something or somebody else. Or even complaining on the Democrats. But yet you get your behind right back up and go vote for them. Why am I complaining on somebody constantly, then go right back out and vote for them? That don't make sense. That's like being with a woman. You complaining on this woman all day you complain on this woman. Is she the worst thing ever? But you still with her. No, if that woman's so bad, then hey, I got to get away from her. Or if that man's so bad, you got to get away from him. Why you complaining all day to everybody and you still gonna go lay up with them? That don't make sense. But everybody knows that the Democrat Party don't do nothing for black people. They don't. Now, some of you still are anti-Trump, and I understand some of you are. Well, I ain't voting for him. I'm not telling you to. Like I said, to each his own. Like, listen, I know a lot of black men that will, but a lot of these black men that I have talked to, most of them are business owners. So they kind of understand things on a different concept than emotionalism. Because in business, you can't be emotional. You can't. You have to be extremely logical, extremely factual. You know, especially any kind of black man who has tried to make something of himself. You ain't got to have a business. You can have a great career. It's not just because you got a business. No, you can have a great career and moved up in your career. And you had to be very factual. You had to be very calculated. And we know how to separate what we should care about with our emotions versus what's just logical and factual for us. We understand that as brothers, right? Once again, we also understand we're going to deal with some racism. We're going to deal, as long as you don't disrespect me with it, you can keep your racist ideals to yourself. We good. Those black men, you know, don't mind doing a protest vote, because I don't like the fact that the Democrats say we are abandoning the party. First of all, to say we are abandoning a party means we belong to that party. Like, I own you. You're mine. So to say you're abandoning, you're walking away is you belong to us. What the hell are you doing walking away even to the couch? No, you're abandoning the party. They don't say white people abandon the party. Asian people, Hispanics, whoever else. They don't say they abandon the party when they don't want to vote for them. They only say that about black people because they have a slave master mentality where they feel they own black people. Listen to the language they're using. You're abandoning. No party owns black people, no Democrat or Republican. We own ourselves as a community. Listen, we was already owned once. Don't voluntarily go be owned, right? But you got grace from me. Like I'm going to repeat this again. You got grace from me right now. You got plenty of grace. But if y'all go out and vote Democrat and that Biden win, because I know some of you going to vote Democrat regardless. I know that. Trust me, I know. I'm not stupid. But if Biden wins and it comes out the black vote is what helped him win, I'm telling you, I'm warning you ahead of time.